Okay, hello. As you can see from the title, I am making a video to show you guys why Kewl Tune Clip is a bad card in Kewl Tune and why it should just be a 1-off and not a 3-off. So, first things first, for those who don't know what Kewl Tune Clip does, during your opponent's main phase, it can summon itself from the hand, and then immediately after, synchro summon into a synchro tuner. So, this seems like a really strong card in Kewl Tune. I can see why people think you should be playing through it. It is their in-engine hand trap. People have been giving it like a Fimena-like name, almost. That's what people compute to. But I'm here to tell you why that's not true. So, the three main concerns I have with this card is the fact that people consider it engine, so in their calculations, they're drawing this card, and it's not a starter. Second thing is you don't actually have a good fusion target, a good synchro target, except for one, right? And the third is it genuinely just lacks in strength as a hand trap. So we're going to start off with the first concern. This is an engine, it isn't a starter. I don't think people should consider it as such. People should consider it as a hand trap. And when you start looking at it in that, it gets a lot worse, right? So as a hand trap, you can summon it from the hand, and then it can be one of three things currently. Well, post next set. So like RS is semi-floodgate, almost to 700 or less original attack, have their levels increased by 1, and then it is like a desert almost, you can banish a tuner from your grave to target a card you're hunting to negate it, which is strong against one deck, because you can, for this you need to have Collision Record, right? So you'll go clip Record into this, and then you'll get 1, 2, 3. You think you'll have 3 instructions for floodgate, but it's not really true. So the first thing is clip isn't truly an interrupt. Banishing one card your opponent's excess is quite a weak effect to its landing. So you could hit something broken, but when Kewl Tune is what I assume will be like top deck, people are going to play more copies of cards in that deck because they don't want to get violated by the random clip or the crackle, right? Recco then will trigger, which will pop a spell trap. Very strong effect, but not against every deck, especially it's not great against Kewl Tune. It's a hand trap, and it's not great against Mitsurugi either. And then third thing is RS. RS is a good card. I won't lie. RS is a very strong card. It's very good against Yummy. And it's like fine in the mirror. Its second effect comes up quite a bit. No, its first effect really comes up quite a bit. Second effect's quite strong, but you're using 2 cards in your hand for this essentially a lot of the time, or a spell trap or plus this, which I don't think is strong enough, especially because you're using a starter. This isn't a hand trap, this is a starter. And you have to hard open the clip plus the record, which is actually not that likely. It's about a 12% chance of this with real. Your next option is Kewl Tune Remix. So you can't actually make this because you have to use a mix for it. And if you're using this as a hand trap, you know, 2 plus 2 equals 4. You can make this if your opponent has summoned an RS. So this comes up in the mirror. In the mirror, this isn't impactful enough. So what you get off this is a monster pop, a I don't even consider this an interruption really. And then this card's really powerful, but it's only powerful for like non-engine your grave and so on and so forth, right? But if you can summon this in your opponent's summon, you're in a pretty good position. But this here post legendary is only 2 of, right? Because it is your worst starter. If you normal summon it and you grab Rotary, you're looking at a fucking 2 and a 1. You ain't thinking about that. So it is your weakest starter. So it's even lower chances of seeing uses to. This is your best pair, and it's only your best pair under RS, right? So the other option you think these two is Kewl Tune Trackmaker. This card is very strong. Add the Kewl Tune card in common. There seem to benefit this before, which this is the best use of collect really. And you get a pop. So you're using 2 cards in your hand for a pop and some follow up. But if you didn't have the clip, you have the start in your hand already, right? So it's not even that powerful in this situation. Like this will actually tag your starter out. If you're paying less of this, that should be less likely anyway. but I don't think that's very strong. And lastly, the card's not out yet. We've got Kewl Tune. I use loudness filter. Kewl Tune Crackle. So what Crackle says is on summon, on sacred summon specifically, it flips through Pendant X deck and banishes one card face up. That's a very strong effect. But as I said before, people are playing around that this one going into next format, so it's not as powerful as you think it will be. And then if it's something with Synchro Material, it's something called Back and Rip 2. That's a really powerful effect, but you don't actually have a second way to Synchro Summon in your opponent's turn unless you've gone first, right? But if you've gone first, you're going to search for it, so it's not necessary. So you have to be extremely lucky because your clip has to hit the second copy of the card you want to banish, essentially, for that to even be useful. And you're thinking, oh, it's a 5, how am I going to summon it, right? So most people have discussed summoning it with this card, the record from before, or Q, right? So the problem is you're using a hand trap and arguably your best starters to make an extra aggro, right? And a pop or some of them, it banishes top cards to punish that. When you're second, that's not very strong effect. Unless you're extremely lucky you hit a 1-off, okay? Or you get the spell trap pop. So Recco is strong. Like, a spell trap pop isn't nothing. I guess that's what to say this. Against Dracotel, you can pop the Rahu, the Kettle, or a trap that you're worried about. And against, like, an admin event, you can pop the Deception. And in the mirror, you can pop the Jade Spell. But I still don't think that warrants what you're using the kit for, especially the 3 of. And then the other option you can choose off with is your hand traps, right? You can choose off with Bell, Morna, or Ash. Because if you play the Deltas, like the Delta and Council, which I do recommend, you can choose off of those as well. So if you choose off of these, you can make Crackle. So you're using, this is going to sound ridiculous, right? You're using an Ash Blossom in your hand. It could have been used to Ash someone to rip a card from their Ash deck. Oh, I'm going to Morna. Instead of using Morna, I'm going to rip one card from your Ash deck and use 2 hand traps. Like, that's just sounds ridiculous, right? That's another reason I think he's amazing. Oh, Mansion. I'm not going to go spell someone. I'm going to do this instead. It just seems pretty weak, right? You see where I'm coming from? And if you play the Cyframes are the best option, right? Because you can Cyframe, then summon this and use the Cyframe in the field. Like a track maker. But then, like, you've actually made 0 interruptions except for a extra banner, right? So this was just like a poor entry people. It only came out when you do a Cyframe. But they're my main concerns with it. Just like as an overall reminder of what I'm saying, like at the TLDR, Clip is at best a one of them attack for a few reasons. Firstly, you're using your starters to make a poor interruption, like a not very strong interruption in your opponent's turn. And like best case scenario, you're using the 2-of, and you're only getting it just doesn't provide enough value, right? And even if you use a hand trap, it doesn't have enough. Best case scenario is you've opened a hand that looks like this. You're in the mirror. You hand trap them 3 times, right? And then they've gone RS and they passed it, and you make a remix of these 2. You get the pop, you get the banish, and you come back when you have it, right? And you can still back from it. That is the best case scenario for this card. And that's a really strong scenario. But how often is that really coming up as? I'll be realistic. Okay. Obviously, feel free to discuss this down below. Tell me what you guys actually think about the card, why you guys think it's a 3-of, so on and so forth. I'm obviously very open-minded about this, but I personally think that it isn't worth it, and this was my conclusion for it. Thank you. Oh, I'd like to preference. I do think you have to play Clip as at least a 1-of, just because it plays best into breakers, and it plays best into, like, it lets you have an interruption in your opponent's turn through, like, a 3 or something. This card is really strong if you can get it after setting up a little board, right? This card's crazy in a half-board scenario, a scenario we've already set up, right? It's brilliant. But, other than that, it's just not strong enough going second to warrant playing it as a 3-of. As an engine that isn't great when you go first, but like hard drawing it, you'd much rather search it.